Now, going over to the business bull of the day, you have Honda recalling their Ridgeline, which is, for all 18 customers, very disappointing. I say that because I'm a fan of Honda. I love my Honda Civic Si with the stick shift. It only comes with a stick shift, as all vehicles should by default. I mean, that's just, if you want to have a true driving experience, you'll smile ear to ear. Yes, even in bumper to bumper traffic, I appreciate driving a stick shift. It is so much fun. I smile every time, especially downshifting into a corner on a track. You can't beat that feeling. That is just pure bliss. But I partially digress. I kind of joke because in terms of trucks and market share in the United States, Honda's kind of a joke. I mean, it's overwhelming Ford, General Motors, and Dodge. And then you have, of course, Toyota with their iconic Tundra, and then Honda comes in with their Giant. And again, it's a great vehicle. It is just more different than the others, and they don't have that market share, and they don't have that brand recognition, even though they've been doing it for decades. There's a allure and cult in and of itself of truck culture where a lot of people just want a truck because their grandpa had the same model and manufacturer. So it's not because it's necessarily a bad product, and they have recalls, but unfortunately, this recall is affecting them here now. This comes to us thanks to Sean Tucker, which is oddly reminiscent. If only it was Trucker, it would have been perfect for this pun, but nevertheless, it was just a Tucker. And again, it's also on kellybluebook.com. It says, recall alert, the Honda Ridgeline, which, interesting enough, actually looks pretty darn good. A little marketing picture that they use where it's a little, well, I don't know, part of me likes the little Honda blue where it's a light blue. It kind of looks neat. Definitely different for a truck, but nevertheless, they say, quote, Honda has recalled 187 290 Ridgeline pickups from the model years 2020 to 2024 because opening and closing their tailgates in everyday use can cause the backup camera to fail. Which is pretty pathetic to say the least, because that's the definition of normal wear and tear, which, again, that's why it's going to be covered from the manufacturer. You won't have to pay for it. But, yeah, just opening and closing the tailgate, how did that get past quality control? I mean, normally, if you have an a whole industrial engineering team, you're not just going to have Bob down the assembly line, open and close it, 1,000 times. You're going to have a robot, you're going to have a machine opening and closing that thousands of times and, calculating how many times can we open and close before you have a failure rate, what part fails first, is the failure rate to the point where it's failing too much or failing, quote unquote, too soon, where we need to make some of the components more robust or redesign it. Again, they have the resource allocation. I know they're one of these smaller automotive companies, globally speaking. Now, they also say, quote, the company says that the federal safety officials at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that the problem is particularly likely to develop in cold states where road maintenance crews use salt on the road to make the roads safer than snow. I like how they explain that, which, yes, in one way it's safer, but you're also destroying cars, which isn't good, making more of a disposable society. I don't know, personally I think sand would be better, but I partially digress. I know Anakin Skywalker would not approve. Honda says, quote, protective woven twisted loop which has a high permeability to salt and water, protects the wire powering the backup camera. Which, again, this is a truck. It's supposed to be going outside, like most vehicles. The fact that the tube was not proper for that environment is ridiculous, to say the least. Now, of course, they say you're going to be able to take it to the dealership, get it fixed at no cost to you, which, again, that's every recall ever. Because, again, it's not the user error, and it won't cost you fiscally, but it's going to cost you time. You have to go to the dealer, depending on how long it takes them to actually fix the problem. Well, then you have to worry about getting a loaner car from the dealer, and if they don't have that option, then you have to worry about spending money on renting your own vehicle or doing one of those ride-sharing apps, and it also decreases your perceived quality of that manufacturer. Where, again, Honda is known for quality. They're known for engineering. I mean, ever since Soichiro Honda founded the company making, he started making piston rings back in the day, but it's one of those instances where you're not getting the fastest car on the planet. You're not going to get a truck that can tow a tank. You're getting something that's darn near bulletproof reliability. That's why I mostly love my Honda Civic Si, with the exception of one or two instances where, fortunately, even that's starting to have one or two issues. Granted, I also track it and it's got near 80,000 miles, but nevertheless, on average, Honda is known for unprecedented reliability, and having a recall that affects, again, something they're trying to grow the truck segment more and more. There's average more profit in trucks and SUVs and cars. That's why it's important for every company to focus on those things. And yet, they just cannot get those, can't keep making these mistakes and have the brand of having great quality. And the fact that they didn't test this thing that, just wears down with basic usage of the vehicle. And again, I would eventually say most states in the US use salt for the roads, which again is terrible. causing therefore the vehicle to break earlier over time. In this instance, also driving to this recall. Like I say, Honda, that issue with the Honda Ridgeline, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.